How's everyone doing? This is going to be a Blu-ray and DVD collection update with 21 pickups. It's essentially a mail day because there's a bunch in here that I haven't seen. So once I do view them, I will review them in a proper update. But if you've seen these movies or TV shows, definitely let me know what you think of them. Let's do the obligatory thumbnail face if I can get this all in frame. Surprise at the big stack that I just picked up from my desk right here. Those thumbnail faces crack me up. I love, it's kind of me poking fun at it, but people seem to enjoy the thumbnail faces. I don't know. But to me, it's always kind of humorous to see people with their faces like, you know, I don't know. I kind of just go with it now, but I don't know. I'm kind of poking fun at the same time. But let's go ahead and get into this stack. First up, the first 4 Blu-rays that I got here, I got from a website that I've mentioned a lot recently, and that's blu-raysforeveryone.com. Again, a great place for collectors. You can get slipcovers there, steelbooks there. They have a wide range of Blu-rays that you can pick up, and DVDs as well, and you can get digital codes there. First up, though, is Room, and this one was such an emotional, moving movie. I thought the performance from Jacob Tremblay, the young child actor, was phenomenal. I think he should have been nominated for an Oscar in his role. The whole cast was excellent, but it's mainly driven by the 2 leads, Brie Larson, Jacob Tremblay. Brie Larson won an Oscar for her performance here, and deservedly so. And I really love the cinematography here, as well as towards the end of the movie, just the way that the world is envisioned through the kid, the child. It's just that sense of wonderment, and just everything that he describes just works perfectly for it. It's kind of a haunting movie as well. You see how it affects them afterwards too, and especially with the father right there, William H. Macy, and then everything that's changed over the years. But a very powerful film. I think one of the best movies of 2015. Really nice slipcover as well from Lionsgate right there. Next up, and this one right here, I'll be honest, this surprised the heck out of me. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I loved the heck out of this movie. I really like this actress right here. She's from Idiot Sitter and Workaholics. She's hilarious. She's been in a bunch of different stuff. She was in 22 Jump Street. Really enjoyed her in there, and she was great here too. But this is one where I was going into it. I'm not a big Seth Rogen fan, and the trailers didn't really jump out to me. And I was thinking that's just going to be a typical toilet humor and pothead humor. It kind of is, but it works. I thought it had some heart. My only issue was the one character with Anthony Mackie. There was a certain aspect of like, did they really have to go that kind of stereotypical route with the athlete and all that? But still, they could have done more, you know, he's trying to become closer with his athlete friends and do things to help them out and make them buddy-buddy with him. But they could have done without that one aspect, in my opinion. But overall, still very entertaining. And this actress right here reminds me so much of Zooey Deschanel. Maybe they couldn't afford her in the budget, but I thought she was actually better than Zooey Deschanel, in my opinion. And then you've got Mindy from The Mindy Project and The Office. The Night Before is from Sony. And I love that slipcover too. Very foily. And a ton of special features on here. I was actually watching some of the special features before, and some of them are hilarious. There's the one where they're in the strip club. Those 2 characters right there, and that part just cracked me up. They're basically just ad-libbing and cracking each other up. But it was just basically a very kind of a buddy movie, but with drugs, and it's basically Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. Many years ago, his parents passed away on Christmas, and his 2 friends, or right around Christmas, and the 2 friends basically take him out on Christmas and say, you know what, let's get you out of this funk. And they have this tradition where every night they go out and party on Christmas Day, and or Christmas Eve actually, the night before. And that's basically what they're doing. And all the times they keep hearing about this one party, this big party, and they finally get the tickets to this big party. And this is going to be the last time that they're all going to do this, because Anthony Mackie's character is a big football player, getting really popular now, and Seth Rogen's character is just about to have a baby, and so he's kind of feels like out of place and trying to find himself still. And he's dealing with his breakup in there too, but it's just the hijinks of the night before, them going around trying to get drugs and trying to do certain things, and Seth Rogen's character doing drugs, and there's the romance aspect to it. It was just a lot of fun, going to all the different parties and things. Again, it does have the pothead and drug humor and toilet humor that you would normally expect with any movie with Seth Rogen, essentially. But it worked here. And I really liked Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in 50-50. That was probably one of my favorite performances from Seth Rogen. And good team up with them again. Hopefully we'll see them together more often, because I thought they work well together. Next up is The Danish Girl. This is a movie that I do want to revisit. I saw it when it first came out. And I thought it was, had some good emotional aspects to it, but it wasn't a movie that really impacted me But I understand the importance of it, especially nowadays with all the transgender aspect going on, especially Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner turning to Caitlyn Jenner and things like that. So it's all in the headlines, all in the news and all that stuff. Alicia Vikander, to me, was just so powerful in her performance. She overtook it. And Eddie Redmayne always plays these really eccentric characters. Stephen Hawking, and then this character here, the transgender artist. And he was also, even in Jupiter Ascending, his character was kind of crazy too. But not to say that he's crazy, but, you know, eccentric. But Alicia Vikander is absolutely stunning and talented, and she was really what drove this movie for me. And I think she overpowered the performance of Eddie Redmayne here, and she definitely deserved the Oscar as well. Congratulations to her. I will say this was incredibly shot, very lush cinematography, very beautiful, and it is an important story, I guess, in the history of, you know, transgender and everything like that. But I do want to revisit this one again just to see if it has more of an impact on me now. But again, nice slipcover for it as well. This is from Universal. Next up is Fantastic Four. Alright. This movie is one that everybody crapped on so much. I heard people saying it's the worst movie ever. Stupid crap like that. Come on now. I hear this all the time, every year, people saying this movie is the worst movie of the year, this is the worst movie ever, stuff like that. You really haven't seen enough movies if you think that. I kind of avoided it at first because I heard so much negativity, and I do like the cast members, but I don't know, for some reason, they just, from the trailers that I saw, it just didn't fit to me. But I decided to go ahead and give it a chance here, and this is from Fox, and you know, honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't great. It's better than Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, and to me, it's right up there with the recent Fantastic Four movies. You know, the past ones weren't that great either. The younger cast here, I really like Michael B. Jordan as an actor. Jamie Bell has been around for a long time. Kate Mara is good, and Miles Teller, yeah, of course, Whiplash. He's been in a ton of stuff, but he's really up and coming as well. And I really like the actor who played Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom. He was really excellent. He was kind of like a standout performance in here for me. But this movie was much better than people were giving it credit for. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but the visuals were stunning. Again, to me, it did feel like they didn't really meld together well as a team. I will say the first half is more about the backstory, and then the second half is, it kind of jumps a little bit, and it's kind of just action quickly. And so that kind of change of pace didn't work too well, but I think the visuals were stunning, and it wasn't a crap fest like everybody was saying. I mean, I would give it at least an average. But that's just me. I wasn't expecting much from it to begin with. I was expecting, you know, popcorn comic book action movie, and that's what it was. Next up is a horror movie right here, and this is Meet Me There. I actually heard terrible reviews for this, and I really enjoyed it. It's low budget, it's a psychological horror movie. It has Goldust, the wrestler right there, who I thought was actually really good in this role. And it's definitely a very weird and surreal movie, but I really enjoyed it. The one thing I didn't like, though, was this Blu-ray has subtitles that you cannot take off. And that's kind of distracting, especially since some of the subtitles are off a little bit. Like some of the words are like a word off. Instead of think, it's thing, and certain things like that. And it's actually off like by a sentence. Like, so you'll see the actor say something, and then they'll have the line from the previous line down there in the subtitles. I'm like, come on. And you couldn't take the subtitles off, so that was really bothersome. And I know there's a couple points where the audio is a little bit low, but some of the stuff you don't need in the subtitles, like hearing who's on the radio and like stuff like that. But overall, it's basically about this couple who they're going to her hometown because she's having a lot of issues and she's seeing a therapist, and they, you know, basically come with the idea of visiting her hometown, and she kind of blocked out her childhood, so they go to this place called Sheol, Oklahoma, and they find out it's basically just a hellacious place with essentially a crazy cult, and just lots of insane stuff starts happening as soon as they get there. And I love the opening sequence to this movie. I wish they would have delved a little bit more into that as well. That was a great setup for it. And then towards the end of the movie, you see a similar scene, which I really liked too. I thought they were going to tie it together. But overall, I thought this was a really good low-budget horror movie. And I really liked the leads here too. And again, Goldust was fantastic in his role. It's a creepy film, atmospheric, moody. And, you know, if you're into psychological horror movies, I've heard people say this is an art house film. I don't see it that way at all. I think it's just a very surreal, low-budget horror movie and with psychological aspects. And I think it worked well for that. And again, it has the cult aspect too. So I would say check it out if you're into that kind of stuff. Next up from Arrow Video is Pray for Death. and this has Sho Kosugi from Enter the Ninja, Rage of Honor, a bunch of great martial arts ninja movies. And this is another release from Arrow Video US. I'm so excited that they're releasing over here. And Criterion Collection is going to be releasing over in the UK now starting next month. So that is pretty awesome. And I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I like this artwork better than the newly commissioned artwork right there. And that's one of the things that, again, I've mentioned this all the time when I talk about Arrow Video, because they're one of the best companies out there releasing Blu-rays today. It's a complete package with them. First you get the transfer, you get the special features, you get the packaging, clear case, newly commissioned artwork, disc artwork. There's always a booklet as well. So all kinds of goodness for collectors. It's top notch. So very happy with Arrow Video. Next up is an awesome set right here, American Horror Project. Basically these movies are ones that may not get the recognition they fully deserve. They're not huge hit horror movies, but they're still worth checking out. And I've only seen one of these ones, and I've seen The Witch Who Came from the Sea, which is a completely trippy psychosexual horror movie, very surreal and just crazy is the best way I can put it. I really enjoyed that one. Again, it's not one that's going to get a ton of praise or attention, but again, I think it's an important movie and a great box set here too. I'm looking forward to checking out Maltese's Carnival of Blood and The Premonition as well. So I like the special features on here. They usually have an introduction. They have an introduction on all three from Stephen Thrower. So I think he's like a film historian or critic or something like that. I can't recall right now. But nice box set right here. Each one of them has newly commissioned artwork, which honestly, I think I preferred all the old school artwork. Right there's a slipcase, nice thick booklet. But yeah, I prefer the old school artwork for all of them. Tons of information. Awesome. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you the artwork right there. Maltese's Carnival of Blood, The Witch Who Came from the Sea, and The Premonition. I love it. It kind of reminds me of Alice, Sweet Alice, the artwork right there. And I'll do a proper unboxing for this once I view all the movies, because this is a cool box set that I think deserves the proper soul unboxing video. And very stoked for that. Next up is Condemned, which I think I'm going to do a full movie review for this one, because this one I thought was pretty cool. It's a fun kind of sleazy, gory, bloody, gooey, slimy movie, gross out horror, kind of like Street Trash, Slime City, stuff like that. Crazy drugs and gross splatter, but it's basically a kind of a fight to survive kind of movie as well, and I thought it was a lot of fun, very entertaining. So I'll talk about that more in depth coming up soon. And next up are a few Blu-rays from Mill Creek right here, and they're suddenly putting out a ton of different releases. All of a sudden they kind of slowed down, now they're just putting out a bunch. I've only seen a couple of these ones out of here. I haven't seen this one right here. This is Just Visiting with Jean Reno from Leon the Professional. That's how I always remember him. Christina Applegate, and I always remember her from Married with Children, Kelly Bundy, and then you've got Tara Reid on there. So you know it's going to be a great movie, and I can't stand her as an actress. I'm just kidding, obviously. Malcolm McDowell's in here as well. But basically, this is a fish out of water. I guess there's a 12th century count who somehow by magic ends up in present day and 21st century Chicago. He meets a descendant of his. So that seems like a pretty crazy plot right there. Next up is Frankenstein. This is the complete mini-series event. 2 hours and 57 minutes. Everybody knows this story. There's been a ton of Frankenstein movies coming out recently, and the cast in here looks fantastic. I can't wait to check this out. Julie Delpy, who I always enjoy. William Hurt, Donald Sutherland, Alec Newman, and Luke Goss. So looking forward to checking that out. And then Ice Cube and Nia Long, I believe, was the actress in here. I remember liking her for so long. Tracy Morgan, too, is in here. And this is just like a ridiculous road comedy with Jay Moore, too, with the kids and traveling. This is, everybody kind of knows this feeling of traveling with kids. And are we there yet? Are we there yet? It's a family comedy movie. You know what to expect with these kind of ones. And Ice Cube's doing a ton of these family comedy movies recently, and I remember hating these kids in the beginning, but then it's one of those ones where they, grow to love Ice Cube's character and things like that. So it's got the family fun vibe going on to it. Next up is My Boyfriend's Back. I remember seeing this so long ago when I was a kid, and I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. And I remember Tracy Lind is stunning here, but basically she was like the hot chick, and he was trying to win her over, and he ends up dying and coming back. I can't remember exactly how it all happened, but it's a crazy comedy movie, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out again. Again, I haven't seen this since I was a kid, so very excited. There's a lot of these movies coming out recently. I never thought in a million years we'd get a Blu-ray release. This is one of them, so very cool. Next up is Swing Vote. I remember this movie being so improbable and ridiculous, but it's one of those ones you just have to kind of go with it. But I like the cast a lot. A great cast in here. Kelsey Grammer, Dennis Hopper, Nathan Lane, Stanley Tucci, George Lopez, and then of course Kevin Costner. The young child actress was really good in here too. I can't remember her name right now. And even Paula Patton was really good as the reporter. But basically it all comes down to this one guy's vote, and they're both presidential candidates are trying to win him over, essentially, and they're just doing everything that he wants, and just kind of showing the politics and how ridiculous it is and the voters. It's actually kind of relevant today as well, as far as how ridiculous politics can be. But it's a decent movie. It's not great. Again, you have to suspend belief for it. But I really like the cast. The cast is really what drives this movie, makes it work. So that's all for the Blu-rays. Now let's get on to the DVDs. First up right here from Strand Releasing, which Strand Releasing is a great company as well. They release a lot of kind of controversial titles on Blu-ray and DVD. Definitely check them out. They've got some fantastic releases. But Marshland is an amazing movie, great crime thriller, Spanish crime thriller. If you like the TV show True Detective and other crime thriller movies, I would highly recommend the heck out of this one. This is a masterpiece. It's basically set in a small village in 1980, and they're trying to figure out who this serial killer is, and two cops, kind of polar opposites, are trying to figure it out. They're working together, and it is a fantastic film, masterful. I'm going to do a full movie review for this one because it definitely deserves it. I don't hear anybody talking about this, and that is a crying shame. Fantastic film, great acting, cinematography, directing. Love this movie. Highly recommend Marshland. Next up is Hero Quest from Cinedigm. This is a review copy, straight up. This is a review copy. I'm going to give it a chance, though. It's a kid's movie, obviously. But I do like the voice cast here. You've got Joe Pesci, Sharon Stone, Whoopi Goldberg, Mila Jovovich. So I'm hoping for good animation, and the voice actors are going to be something that's going to drive this movie. So I'm going to check it out and give it a fair shot. And it's 87 minutes long. So not decently long. Next up is another anime movie from Disney. This is the newest Lion King movie, The Lion Guard, Return of the Roar, with an all-new cast right here of different animals right there. And nice slipcover for it. And this one right here is only 44 minutes, and it comes with a new talking backpack pull inside. So it's like a little thing that you put on your backpack that hangs down. So looking forward to that. It's The Lion King. It's got to be decently entertaining. Next up from Mill Creek is one that I'm actually really looking forward to. It's Dinotopia, the series. I love movies like this, where they're kind of like thrown back in time, and different dinosaurs like that. So I'm excited. There's 13 episodes here. There was I think The Land That Time Forgot was a movie that I really enjoyed. So I can't wait to check this out. I'm excited for that. I love things like this. Jurassic Park, of course, too. It's not thrown back in time, but it's current time. Next up is Future Cop, and this one right here has Ernest Borgnine. Really enjoy him as an actor, and John Amos too from Good Times and Coming to America. Love him in both of those. And this one right here is 6 episodes in the pilot, and 7 hours and 50 minutes total in here. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Again, I love Ernest Borgnine as an actor. I've a lot of great movies that he's been in. This one right here, I'm just going to tell you the runtime is 9 hours and 15 minutes for Dinotopia. Again, I'm souped on checking this one out. This looks like something right up my alley. So let me know if you've seen any of these, like I said before, but especially Dinotopia. Next up is Perry Mason Movie Collection Volume 5, and it's starring Paul Sorvino and Hal Holbrook. Hal Holbrook, I always remember him from The Fog, but he's been in a ton of stuff over the years. And this starts with essentially 3 double features. There's the slipcase right there, and they come in these. They've been doing a lot of these sets right here, and the first one is the case of Teletalk, the talk show host, then the case of the killer kiss, and then the case of the Wicked Wives, case of the Lethal Lifestyle, case of the Grimacing Governor, and case of the Jealous Jokester. So there are a lot of wordplay right there. So classic right here with Raymond Burr, Perry Mason, great court drama TV show and movies. And this is released by Paramount and CBS. Next up is The Midnight Man, and this is released by Cinedigm. It's basically a hitman who has a genetic disorder where he can't feel pain. so that seems right up his alley. But the cast here is pretty decent. Will Kemp is the lead. You've got Vinnie Jones, who's always fantastic. William Forsythe as well. A bunch of other recognizable people, including Doug Jones. So looking forward to checking this one out. There's Doug Jones looking creepy right there in the back. But I really enjoy him. Pan's Labyrinth, a bunch of different things where he's done other kind of like creepy roles where he's not really actually himself. He's in makeup and stuff like that. But he's a very good actor in his own right, not just doing those type of roles. But this one looks like it's going to be all-out action entertainment. Next up is The Girl in the Book, and this is from Monarch Home Entertainment. This looks like it's going to be an emotional drama. She's a young writer, and she's having to deal with some issues from her past, and she has to overcome that and find love and all that good stuff. But I do like the lead actors here, Emily Van Camp, and even Michael Nyqvist, I think that's his name. He was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So definitely looking forward to checking this one out. And so I'm going to give this one a shot. Again, I like the two leads right here. So there you go. Those are the 21 pickups. If you've seen these Blu-rays or DVDs, movies and TV shows, definitely let me know what you think of them. Leave me a comment or video response down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.